Hi, welcome back. So there are so many agricultural operations when we can use the animal power, and some are listed here, but of course not limited in this list. Okay, it says here that remember that the performance of our animal or draft animals varies from some point. For bovine family, the animal's performance efficiency varies from 9 to 10%. For horse family, it varies from 10 to 12%. So the animal performance or the efficiency of the performance of these families is that we can see here that the horse family is more efficient in terms of the animal's performance. Okay, so let us now review some utilization of draft animals in agricultural operations. So first here we have here the tillage. Of course, as you can see that mostly we use draft animals during tillage. They have a implement on their back wherein they pull the implement to drag and till the land. So they used animal power just to till the land. Of course, there are also cases wherein we used animal powers in raising water. Also, in grain and fodder, chopping, threshing, threshing, shelling, crushing sugarcane, and many more. So, on the picture here is an example of utilizing draft animal for a threshing operation. So they are allowing animal to trample the rice stalks with grain in order for the paddy to separate from the straw. Okay, so the draft animal trample this bulk of grains there. Then shelling, mixing, what else? Mixing and shaping clay bodies, husking and stripping corn, pressing oil, producing plants, grating cassava and cocoa, lifting loads, of course. And there are so many agricultural operations where we can use or utilize animal power. Okay. So we have now already done with the introduction of draft animal power. So let us now move to the mechanics of draft animals. Now, draft animal supplies useful power by exerting pull at a certain speed. The magnitude of pull exerted by animal depends on the load or the resistance of movement. So as you can see here in the picture, this is the load, the back steer, wherein it is the resistance for movement. So the draft animal should surpass the resistance load in order for the implement to go to and perform the tilling action. In the method of attaching the animal or animals to load. Okay. So when we say this, the mechanics of the draft animals, the actual force is usually the one that is the what you call this, the hypotenuse of this right triangle here shown at the picture. So, but the effect is the horizontal component because the tilling action is going to this horizontal axis there. Okay, but the actual force carried by the animal is the one that is located here at the hypotenuse of the right triangle here. Okay, so there are factors affecting the pulling capacity of draft animals. So there are many factors that might affect the pulling capacity. First is the species and breed. Of course, species and breed of animal varies from time to time, therefore their capability or their innate power is different from each other. Maybe the horse is the species of horse is much powerful or can provide a greater power than the donkey, and as well as the breed. Maybe the larger breed of the horse can provide a greater power than the other breed, and so on. Also, the sex of the draft animal. Maybe the female and male male animal is different in capability in terms of power, and of course the size and age, as well as the age. The younger draft animal is different from the older animal, so they can the younger might produce greater power than the older one. Another is the health. Of course, healthy and animal that is in condition, is in good condition, can provide greater power than the unhealthy one, as well as on the nutrition and of course the training. If the animal is trained on that specific task, then they might provide greater power than the animal that is not trained. Work posture, ground conditions, and such like of course maybe we can say that the animal can pull that implement, but let us also consider the condition wherein our animal is in. For example, the ground is so heavy, or the ground is much clayey, then of course it can affect the pulling capability or capacity of our draft animal. Another here is that it says that the generally draft animal's force is approximately 10% of its weight. So when we are doing an assumption, we can approximate that their force is about 10% of their weight. For example, their weight is 50 newtons. Then maybe through approximation, their force is approximately 5 newton. Okay. So at table 3.1, draft and horsepower of man and various animals. So it is listed here the average weight and approximate draft or approximate pull of the man and animal. The average speed also and the horsepower developed. Okay. So for the so you can see there the for example, we have the water buffalo. Its average weight ranges from 400 to 900 kilogram, and its approximate drop is about 60 to 80 kilograms. So they can pull about 60 to 80 kilograms with an average speed of 3.6. So their power is about 1. So they can develop horsepower of about 1. So like what we have said, the horsepower or the power is the combination of the draft or force with its speed. Okay, and while you can see there that the man ranges from 60 to 90 kilogram and is only capable of approximate draft of 30 kilogram force, so its average speed is about 1 kilometer per hour. So the developed horsepower is about 0.1. Okay, so which is has greater horsepower, the man or the horse? Of course, the horse. It has 1 horsepower, but for the man it has only 0.1. So the horse is much powerful than the man. As you can see there, the power of of man is approximately about 10% of the power of force. Okay, since point 1 is about 10% of 1. Let me check. Point 1 divided by 10. Yeah, it is 10%. Okay. So we are done with the mechanics of draft animal. Let us now proceed to our last topic, which is factors affecting animals' performance. Okay. So there are four main factors which can affect the animal performance. First is of course the environmental condition. If, let's say for example, the weather is so hot, then it might affect the performance of your animal. Of course, the choice of animals. If you want to pull a greater load, then of course you need to choose the appropriate animals for that task. And of course, use of animals, maybe if they are overused, then maybe their performance might lower. And if you are going to what do you call this, to manage the livestock, like the last factor, then the performance of the animal might increase or decrease depending on their management. Okay, so there are also disadvantages of using draft animals. Of course, it requires feed and care when not working. Of course, they are living things, so they are you need to care and feed them. Work at heavy load, limited to short period. Yeah, when you are using them for a heavier load compared to the capability, then of course you can expect that their working hours can be shortened because they might exhaust earlier. Number 3, required frequent resting period, since they are living things and need to rest. Cannot work efficiently in hot weather, like what we have discussed later. Working speed is limited and relatively low. Of course, the animals have their own speed. You cannot increase them like tractors when you want to accelerate it. And when you do that, of course, your animal might exhaust and be used for a shorter period of time. Not efficient for stationary work. So stationary work, like they are in place. Okay, they are more efficient in when they are moving. Require a relatively large amount of time for feeding, harnessing, and care. Of course, you need to invest time just to feed them and to care for them. Okay, so that's all for our whole um, animal and draft animal, I mean for human and draft animal power. So here are references for our topics. Okay, so see you on the next topic.